A brief history of Scotland, from ancient times to modern identity. Scotland, a land of misty mountains, legendary warriors, haunting ballads, and centuries of struggle and resilience. From ancient tribes and Roman invasions to freedom fighters like William Wallace and the Jacobite risings, Scotland's history is woven with courage, tragedy and pride. In this video we explore the story of Scotland, a journey through its ancient origins, epic battles, cultural heritage, and the enduring spirit that defines the Scottish people today. Ancient Scotland, the land of the Picts. Scotland's story begins long before recorded history, with early human settlements dating back over 12,000 years. Some of the best preserved Neolithic sites in Europe can be found in Scotland, like Skara Brae in Orkney. By the Iron Age, a mysterious people known as the Picts dominated the north. These painted people baffled Roman invaders, resisting conquest with fierce determination. To the south, the Scots, originally Gaelic-speaking settlers from Ireland, began to migrate into western Scotland, found in the kingdom of Dal Riata. When the Romans arrived in Britain, they found Scotland too wild and rebellious to conquer fully. Hadrian's Wall, built in 122 AD, marked the Roman frontier, an admission that Caledonia, as they called it, was too hard to tame. Medieval Scotland, kings, clans and wars of independence. In 843 AD, the Picts and Scots united under Kenneth MacAlpin, considered the first king of Scotland. Over time, powerful clans emerged, each with their own lands, rivalries and loyalties. By the 11th century, Scotland had established itself as a kingdom, though often clashing with England to the south. The most defining period came in the late 13th century, during the Wars of Scottish Independence. When King Alexander III died without an heir, England's King Edward I tried to take control. But Scots rose in rebellion. Enter William Wallace, a legendary freedom fighter who led a revolt and won the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297. His brutal execution only fueled the fight. Soon after, Robert the Bruce took up the cause. In 1314, he won a decisive victory at Bannockburn, securing Scottish independence, at least for a time. The Stuarts and the Union of Crowns. Scotland flourished under the medieval Stuart dynasty, known for its strong monarchs and Renaissance influence. One of the most famous was Mary, Queen of Scots, a tragic figure caught between power, religion and betrayal. Her cousin Elizabeth I of England ultimately had her executed. Ironically, Mary's son, James VI of Scotland, would later become James I of England after Elizabeth's death, uniting the crowns in 1603. But while Scotland and England shared a monarch, they remained separate countries, until the Acts of Union in 1707. This controversial treaty created Great Britain, merging the Scottish and English parliaments. Many Scots opposed it, feeling their sovereignty had been sold out. The Jacobites and the fall of the Highlands. Despite the union, unrest simmered. Supporters of the deposed Catholic Stuarts, known as Jacobites, launched a series of uprisings, hoping to restore their rightful king. The most famous was the 1745 Rising, led by Charles Edward Stuart, better known as Bonnie Prince Charlie. His romantic march through Scotland captured imaginations, but it ended in tragedy. In 1746, at the Battle of Culloden, government forces crushed the Jacobite army. It was the last pitched battle fought on British soil. What followed was brutal. The Highland clans were suppressed. their language, dress and weapons banned in an attempt to destroy their culture. The romanticised Highland of tartan, bagpipes and brave warriors were born from this period of loss and repression. Industrial Scotland and Empire. In the 18th and 19th centuries, Scotland became a driving force in the Industrial Revolution. Cities like Glasgow, Edinburgh and Dundee boomed with shipbuilding, coal mining and engineering. Scotland also contributed enormously to the British Empire, supplying inventors, doctors, soldiers and missionaries across the globe. Think of figures like Alexander Graham Bell, inventor of the telephone, or David Livingstone, the explorer and missionary in Africa. But this progress came at a cost. Many Scots were displaced during the Highland clearances, forced off their lands by landlords in favour of sheep farming. Thousands emigrated to Canada, the United States, Australia and beyond. Modern Scotland, a nation within a nation. In the 20th century, Scotland remained part of the United Kingdom, but questions of identity and autonomy grew louder. In 1999, Scotland gained its own parliament in Edinburgh, with powers over education, health and local governance, a key moment in the devolution movement. In 2014, Scotland held a historic independence referendum. The result, 55% voted to stay in the UK, while 45% voted to leave. Yet, the question hasn't gone away. After Brexit, where a majority of Scots voted to remain in the EU, calls for a second referendum have intensified. Today, Scotland is both fiercely Scottish and part of the United Kingdom, a nation with a proud culture, world-famous universities, and a booming tourism industry built on whisky, castles and history. Scottish culture and famous figures. Scotland has gifted the world with cultural treasures, from Robert Burns, the national poet, to Sir Walter Scott, and more recently authors like J.K. Rowling, who wrote Harry Potter in an Edinburgh cafe. The Scottish Enlightenment in the 18th century brought thinkers like Adam Smith, the father of modern economics, and David Hume, the philosopher. In music, there are haunting bagpipes and folk ballads. In sport, fierce football rivalries and the Highland Games. And in science, figures like James Clerk Maxwell, who laid the foundation for modern physics. Scotland is a land where myth meets memory, where the ghosts of warriors and poets still echo through glens and lochs. Its history is one of struggle and resilience, of brilliance and rebellion. From the ancient Picts to the modern Parliament, Scotland's story is far from over. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey through Scottish history, be sure to like and subscribe for more historical deep dives. Ireland is coming next.